it's enough for me. They've had a really good time, you know. They've had 2 hours off Brexit, which is just great. And I think if they've enjoyed it, if they've kind of almost cried and had a few laughs, then I'm happy.
So thank you so much for sitting down with us today. We're very excited to bring Downton Abbey to Cineworld screens all around the UK. So first question. So Julian, how did you go about adapting the show into a film adaptation? And were you excited about this opportunity, or were you a bit nervous about bringing this to the big screen after you've wrapped it up so nicely as a TV show?
Well, I suppose I was a little bit nervous. I mean, I think when you're not nervous at all, it's hopeless. You've got to be on edge a bit. And I suppose the answer to your question is we kind of analysed how the shape, how the structure would have to change in order to become a film structure. Because in the series, you don't, for instance, give a major plot to every character every week. They probably have 2 or 3 in the whole season. And you don't have to wrap everything up every week. You can have stories that drift through several episodes. All of that is not possible in a film. Everyone who's there has got to have something to do, and every story's got to have a resolution. So, that was the sort of major discipline we were working within. And then we deliberately chose a central subject of the visit of the King and Queen, as much as anything, so that we could kind of expand visually and have parades and balls and banquets and all these kind of glamorous events to kind of fill a giant screen. But some aspects of it, I mean, you were saying that the house sort of grew to meet the new challenge. Yeah. And that did happen. In various aspects, we were doing what we had done in the series, but it seemed convincingly cinematic.
I think all of us as filmmakers wanted to bring what everybody loved about Downton back to the screen and then surprise us with new opportunities that seeing it on that scale afforded us. So part of it was just the fact that it got bigger and you were in those rooms changed your experience of them. And part of it was we gave ourselves more filmmaking tools and more variety within that to play with, because we had a little bit more time than we did on the series.
Are you here for dinner, Mama? It's a buffet.
Well, I'm not changed.
You just need to take off your hat.
You talk as if that were easy.
And Michael, I hear that you're a very big fan of the series, even before you got involved with this.
Yes.
Do you have a particular quote that really stuck with you from the get-go?
Well, for some reason, I'm not very good at that kind of thing, but I do remember being so deeply moved once early on when Matthew was about to marry Lavinia, and Violet comes into his room. And what I always love about her is that everybody thinks of her as this funny, person with all these quips. But part of, I think, what really gives her the weight as a character is her incredible wisdom and that when those moments of gravity come, she really is up to them as a character. And she says to him, marriage is a very long business. And that always stuck with me because I just remember being moved by it. She wasn't judging him. You didn't even feel that it was about her just trying to help Mary win, that it was about a higher sort of understanding about life, and marriage and relationships. And so that would be for me.
I think one that lingers with me, and of course it sounds very vain because I wrote it, but one that sort of stays with me was when Edith, after she and Mary had fallen out, and she comes into Mary's bedroom and she has a speech about how there will come a day when no one will remember Carson or Mama or Papa or Sybil, but us, and we must stay together or mend up, whatever it was. And I found that quite moving. I thought they did it very well. Of course, that's what one always counts.
I am the King's butler. We have come to Downton in advance of their Majesties.
The royal butler's terribly scary.
Stay out of our way.
And obviously, speaking about emotions, we don't want to give away too much about the plot of this film, but what feeling do you want people to leave the cinema with after they see Downton Abbey?
It's enough for me. They've had a really good time, you know. They've had 2 hours off Brexit, which is just great. And I think if they've enjoyed it, if they've kind of almost cried and had a few laughs, then I'm happy, you know.
Yeah, I would say the same. I mean, I do feel that they're taking away a sense of being reminded that it's possible to be in a community where you feel that people are mutually invested in each other, and that is a valuable experience to have in life with people who are nothing like you, but that you understand that you matter to each other. And I don't think that you walk away thinking that, but I think that is part of what gives you the sense of bigger satisfaction watching Downton.
I think one of the hallmarks of the show, which is how it's turned out, is that all of these characters, or pretty well all, have a sense of self-worth. And, you know, Mrs. Patmore may be the cook and Cora may be her employer, but they have an equal sense of self-worth. Mrs. Patmore is not a victim. She is not downtrodden. She is doing a job for which she is well qualified. And I think that sense of self-worth kind of pervades the show, and I hope the movie, so that you feel comfortable watching these people. They don't make you uncomfortable.
It's not right for us to be humiliated in this way. See, Pete?
We want to defend Downton's honour.
We think we should fight back.
This is treason.
And then finally, as a cinema chain, we always like to ask this question. To you personally, what is your favourite part about seeing a film in the cinema?
Well, my favourite part last night, because it was the first time I'd seen the film with people who hadn't worked on it. Always before at a screening, it had been with other people who'd worked on it. And this was with people who didn't know the movie and hadn't seen it before and so on. And they seemed to enjoy it. And, you know, that was very rewarding.
You know, for me, it's really all about actors and performances. And if whatever else there is, it can be any genre, any scale, big, small. If I feel like there is an authentic experience between the actors in creating these roles and telling a story, I think that is an incredibly difficult thing to do. And when it's done, I'm just always in awe of it.
Here they come now.
Mr. Mosley?
Your Majesties, welcome to Downton Abbey.